Tonight we are stepping into an investigation that many people might know about but cannot explain it. Shadow people. My name is Sid Alinik, this is Marcus, and you are listening to Fallen Hour Radio.
In 1957, strange sightings were reported by a few of the local townspeople in Emerson County. Then, in 1997, sightings of strange, shadowy beings were captured on video. Less than 2 miles from where the original sightings took place, a video camera was found by a local game hunter. No one has come forward to claim this footage.
Did that scare you? It's scared. That's a freaking creepy intro. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to the podcast. Whatever platform may be on, my name is Sid Alinik, this is Marcus, and you're listening to Fallen Hour Radio. Tonight's episode, we are talking about a phenomenon that has been happening for a very long time, probably thousands of years if we can even count, if that are not even documented. A phenomena that is only depicted as or named shadow people. And it's something I think every culture sees, but it's just something that nobody really talks about.
Well, I mean, I know people talk about it, but they don't know how to really... They couldn't really put something to it. Like, they always say, like, you know, when they're, like, describing it, like it was something in the corner of their eye. Like, it looks like a shadow, or they thought they saw somebody walking by, or somebody standing there. That's kind of what this is.
And that is the concept tonight. Before we jump into the podcast, we are actually gearing up for our Halloween season. We're in midsummer, but September and October is coming. So we're stepping into the Halloween season. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, September and October especially. We're hoping to team up with one of our good friends at Faraway Fine Art. And we talked to them last summer, but we didn't really get too far last summer. Just a lot of schedule things and didn't really go as planned. But this summer we're talking to them and we hope we can get things rolling. So hopefully they reply to me before they see this podcast. But the concept is urban legends, and we're going to dive into those. And these guys are crazy artists, and we're going to be doing a series of art pieces that go along with urban legends, and get out art pieces according to the stories. And it's going to be something that you guys want to follow,
Like art pieces to go with the story.
Yeah. That being said, let's get into the podcast. So me and Mark were actually talking about this before the podcast, and it's sort of strange some of the things that we even remember about shadow people and what many people believe them to be. And another aspect of that,
Yeah, once we started talking about this, like we started remembering stories, like things happening or people telling us happened, and just kind of go along the lines of this.
So I watch all these paranormal shows and all these psychic mediums, and I believe these people really do have a gift, and I believe that they are real. A lot of them are, and there's just too many things that they know, and there's too many ways that they actually work as mediums that just they can't be faked. I mean, how could they make some of these things up? Or their the way they go about things and the things they avoid. And I remember watching this one. Her name's Amy Allen, Amy Lee Venison.
I know, I was like, really?
Her name is Amy Allen.
Evanescence?
And she talks about shadow people a lot, but she's a medium, and she deals with these things all the time. Or she actually doesn't deal with them too much, but she remembers as a child, which a lot of these mediums do. They remember seeing these shadow people as children, and they always have scary stories about them. They're afraid of them. Every time they walk into a house and they're getting the house assessed, if they see a shadow person, they're kind of spooked.
I mean, a lot of them don't even like going to those places. They start talking about shadow people.
Yeah. Like it spooks them out a little bit.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs the question of where these shadow people actually came from, and what sort of things underlay with them. Are they more demonic? And that's what I believe they are. They're more demonic than anything. Because I mean, if there's mediums out there who are afraid of these things, if there are people out there who are tormented left and right in their house, and they're scared of these things, I believe they're more so demonic.
Like a lot of people try to say that they're people, like people that used to be here, or like, you know, ghosts, but or not only people that used to be here. Some people even actually believe that they're interdimensional, or like you know, somebody from a different dimension, just almost like we're in the same place but they're in a different dimension. Like, see, some people think that, but I don't believe that's what it is. Like, what I think it is like, if you do like reading in the Bible and stuff, it's like familiar spirits.
Yeah,
like that's what I kind of think it is. Like what goes along the lines of what you're talking about, like demons and stuff like that. That's what I believe they are.
And
that's my theory.
And you got to understand where we come from. We grew up in a house that is total Pentecostal. I mean, we have a long line of preachers, and we've grown up around seeing just countless. If you didn't believe in God or Satan or any sort of paranormal entity, you wouldn't believe some of the things we've saw growing up.
Seen.
I mean, I remember seeing someone and they're getting prayed for like an exorcism, and seeing them talking without even moving their tongue. I remember seeing things that were just sort of like too crazy to explain to just the average person. And it's just in this realm, if we're speaking about paranormal, speaking about demons, it's just something that's too real. And if you experience it, you get that feel of this is too real. It's almost because I believe we are a spiritual being. And when you experience something like that, when you step into that realm, you understand how real it is, because it has nothing to do with your physical body. It has nothing to do with anything physical. Nothing else matters but what is happening at that point. It's like whatever happens at that point, that's all that matters, because that is what would be, it's almost like the Matrix. You're stepping into what is truly reality. Is stepping into that spiritual realm. Wouldn't you agree?
Mic drop.
Cut the clip. Cameo.
No, I agree. Like, I totally agree. Like, actually growing up with the same background and growing up the same way, that is literally exactly what I believe. So yeah, I'm right there with you.
And it's just something that I mean, to us, it's something that we've seen growing up left and right. It's become
like
normal.
It was like normal, yeah.
Yeah, we became normalized to it. I mean, the people that we've seen under those circumstances had no reason to fake what is going on. They had no reason to fake what was happening. And they had really no play at it. I mean, if they were getting prayed for or something and things started to manifest that way, there is no reason for that person to act out that way. And there's no reason for them to try to fake their voice or speak in different dialects and things, and
even sometimes different languages.
Yeah,
that they don't even know.
And there's no reason for a person to do that. And I believe that a lot of times when people are experiencing demonic forces inside of their house, which I believe are not only shadow people, but just what people categorize as ghosts in general, I don't believe that to be a ghost. I believe it to be mostly all demonic.
Like demonic demons? Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we were to get down into the categorization of ghosts and demons and things, I think they all fall under the same category. And I know a lot of people out there would probably disagree with that, but getting into ancient texts, like in Catholic or anything to do with the writings of the Bible, I mean, everyone had their say on it, and it was all points to the demonic.
Yeah, there's like nothing in the Bible that says or even mentions ghosts.
Yeah,
but like mostly demonic or demon.
I remember there was this one guy, and I forgot who it was, but he was actually trying to. In the Bible, there was a depiction of him. He was actually going out to a medium because his friend died, and his friend does come through. But later on in the scripture, it explains that it wasn't him. It was actually a demonic force actually trying to contact him and like talk with him.
Like a familiar spirit, like took on his his persona almost, like kind of mimicked him. Yeah. To talk to him as him. So yeah, okay.
And that's what I believe a lot of people are experiencing. I mean, if you look into the demonic, you look into things of that nature, and not totally get obsessed with it, because it's still a dangerous thing to deal with if you research it,
or
and then
if you go too deep into it.
And then you start getting obsessed with it, you start studying on it, and that's what a lot of these demonologists turn into do. They get into this realm. And I had an interesting year, because I've spoken to a lot of people who deal with this sort of things. And growing up, I always thought that maybe like ghost hunting and all this stuff was probably a bad thing. And because I know that probably trying to contact the dead is an abomination. It would be like abomination against God. But there's also that aspect that people actually need to know about.
That it's real.
That it's a real thing.
It's out there.
And it's nothing to be messed with. And there's a spiritual side out there. And if you were to step into that dark place and even step into the light place, it becomes all too real. It's a reality. And this is what I believe reality is. I mean, I believe there's a huge part of us that is spiritual, because I believe that we're spiritual. But you start stepping into that realm, and it becomes too real. I mean, the darker side of it becomes much more real than flesh and bone. Give us a story. I feel like I'm talking too long now.
But no, like that is kind of like kind of leading up to your theory, basically, of what you believe this is, like these shadow people are to be. So no, you're fine. Go ahead. But no, like that's what I think it is. Like it is like demonic. It is demons. I believe that they just basically when it comes to like ghosts and stuff like that, like they're mimicking basically familiar spirits. Like some people they attach themselves to people and kind of like even just watch or follow or familiarize with that person. And when that person passes, they like some people even think, oh, I saw so and so, or I heard so and so, but it's not. It's like that spirit.
Yeah, I believe that when a person passes, I mean, people who are susceptible to that theory, thinking that their loved one is still lingering around, giving off scents and things like that, doing the same things that they would, seeing them in the corner of their eye, I believe that could be a play at the darker side, trying to get you to open up that doorway.
Like I'll even give you an example. This is a story that actually happened. Like there was this person, there was a group of people that lived in the house. Like I won't say any names. There's a group of people that lived in this house, and they lived with an older person, and this older person, he ended up passing away. Like he died, and maybe a day or so later, he was, everybody was like in the living room, hanging out, playing, the PS3, playing, Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. And his room was right on the other side of the wall. And, where, the loading screen, where it's just silent.
Yeah.
You can hear, he used to whistle all the time. He'd whistle like songs. He'd whistle tunes. And right when they went silent, you can hear whistling coming from that room. And yeah, everybody just kind of looked at each other, kind of like, okay. And one of the people went toward the room, and when he was standing in the room, he thought he heard it outside. So he went outside, and the other person, there's like a group of like 4 or 5 people. One of them stood in the room, and he can hear it outside. But the person that went outside the room, outside the window, he can hear it coming from inside that room.
That's so weird.
And they were talking about buying a house, that was literally just right across this field, literally right there. You could throw a rock and hit this house. And when they walked outside, he told them, I'm hearing it coming from in there, but he told them, I can hear it coming from outside. They walked outside, and when they're standing there, they could start hearing that whistle, that song, coming from that house that they're going to buy. So like that's strange. What I mean when it comes to familiar spirits. Like they kind of they kind of mimicking him,
because that's what I believe. That's what demons do. They mimic your persona. They take on your personality totally. And the thing about demons, even if you were to exorcise them, and I mean we're talking to people who maybe believe in there maybe Catholic out there, or maybe believe that you can exorcise demons, or I believe you can totally cast them out. But demons have a memory. This is all depicted in biblical scriptures as well. They have a memory. They remember who you are. They even attach themselves to your memories. They remember what you like, and they know who you are. They know where you live. They come and check on you if you were to get rid of them.
Like here was even some that are territorial, like a certain area.
Yeah.
Like they kind of territorial over that area.
Like guardians almost.
Yeah, like I remember we were just talking about this not too long ago where we're talking about you brought up the whole like the demons have been here for so long and whatever, and they kind of like started attaching themselves to people and mimic them and stuff like that. And we kind of got into the whole past lives conversation. Like people think, oh, I remember my past life. I remember this happened. I remember that happened. I even gave you a story about a little girl who remembers that she died. You remember the house she lived in, and she said she died there, and she got shot, on their side. And her parents ended up researching that, and they found out that a guy did die there, and where he got shot is where she said she got shot when she died. Like, and like that's what I mean. Like people believe that they have these past lives, and I was kind of thinking that it wasn't their memories; it was the demons' memories.
Yeah.
That's what,
and that could be a lot of things. I mean, in a lot of cases, even if there was things like divorces and things like that, demons also they usually hide inside things that are vacant, like a child who hasn't really gone down that path yet. A cat, if they could get it. I mean, you see this in even in biblical scripture when the demons were getting cast out, and they said they would take the swine.
Oh, Legion.
Yeah, they would take a vacant subject and hide there. I mean, I think we see this a lot in children who have imaginary friends.
Like it's not imaginary friend.
It's not an imaginary friend, I don't believe.
So
I'm like, if my kids have imaginary friend, I'm like, that's not imaginary. You get prayed for today.
It's like I remember we were talking about someone that we knew when she was little. And she had this imaginary friend, and she'd always talk about it. It started creeping everybody out for a while. Like, we were kind of like, it's kind of weird. We thought it was kind of weird, and everybody's like, oh, it's normal. And then somebody went to go use the restroom, and they went to check the door, and it was locked. And she said that she had a name for this person, and she said that she was in there. She was in the bathroom, and we kept checking it, and it was still locked. So we thought maybe somebody was in there. We let it go for an hour, and finally we started knocking, started trying to see if someone was in there, and nobody would answer. So we picked the lock and opened the door, and there was nobody in there. And then she started telling that imaginary friend, "Come on, let's go." And now that right there, I was like, "All right, that's something else, man." That kind of creeped me out.
I mean, you see this too often inside Ghost Adventures and all these other shows who go out and ghost hunt. I mean, they see demons mimicking children, and that's what they do. I mean, they can mimic your voice. They can mimic anything just to get through that door.
Yeah. Like there's even like sounds. Like I remember watching like some kind of ghost hunter episode. And they had a camera set up on the inside of this building that had like some parts had no walls, and you could hear like it almost sound like a drive-by. They're talking about a drive-by that happened, and you can hear the squealing of the tires and the gunshots, but the camera that was outside heard absolutely nothing. Yeah. So they can like almost mimic other things,
like
too,
residuals.
Yeah,
that could be there's a lot of things to do with
something that happened at that time.
Yeah,
that's just. Yeah, so that's what I think. So
we got into shadow people.
No, we still gotta get to that.
But I mean, that's what I.
That kind of all falls along the lines of that.
It's all the same thing. I mean, I believe shadow people. I think it's a total because demons are disembodied, which means they don't have form on Earth, which means that these things that are flying around. And they always say they fly quick, fast. I believe that these are what you're seeing. You're seeing demons.
Yeah, like people even talk about like that's what you're seeing in the corner of your eye. Like you think you see something move, and you look and there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you thought you saw a shadow, you thought you saw a person or something standing there. That's what the shadow person is.
I mean, then that's one of the things you got to be really careful of is allowing these things inside your home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have cursed objects inside your home, things that depict certain things, and there's something flying around your house like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you keep these things inside your house, like a shadow person, and you don't take care of it, then these things can bring a lot of things. They can bring things to your finances. They can bring a lot of health issues to your family. They can bring a lot of things like divorce and just things like that. Things in general, like life problems.
They bring chaos.
Yeah, bring chaos. And if you don't deal with it, it'll get a lot worse and it'll just progress.
But like even I'll give you another story. Like we were just talking about this earlier, but we both know someone that was home alone in a house, and he was watching TV. Like he was watching TV, and in the corner of his eye, he thought he saw something, moving, and he'd look and there's nothing there. And he'd see it again. Like they even say that, like I was talking about this to you, and they say like it even flicker in your peripherals.
Mm-hmm.
It would flicker, and that's kind of what he was seeing. Like it would flicker and move, and he started ignoring it, just staring at the TV, and then he started seeing something move, and he was ignoring it, and it got to the point where he said it went right in front of the TV, and he said the TV looked hazy. He said right there, he closed his eyes like, okay, just like make a plan here. I guess he just grabbed the phone and, ran outside and called someone who was a preacher, who is, an evangelist. And that person, came over to the house. And I remember I was already on my way to that house. And I remember pulling up. And by the time I pulled up, he was standing outside holding the phone with this other person. And I remember the back door was kind of, moving. And he told me that, he ran outside and called him. And when that person who was a pastor stepped foot in that house, he said all he heard was footsteps running toward the back door. And he said the back door just flew open and hit the wall. And it was gone. And it was still kind of swinging when I got there. So yeah, it's like, all right, these things are real, man. These things are out there.
Well, our camera's about to die on there.
Okay.
So that being said, what do you want to do with this podcast? You want to go for another one, or you want to
actually dig into it deeper? So
you got another podcast coming out next Thursday, 7 p.m. We are going to dive more into this and maybe see if we can get a couple friends on this podcast. The next one, have them give their take on it. This has been Shadow People. My name is Steve Hellenic. This is Marcus, and you are listening to Fallen Hour Radio.